All right. Peter Zaccagnino,
You got it.
Park City Aviators, the man, the founder, PCAviators.com. Peter, such a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for taking the time. I know how busy you are, and it's such a pleasure as well, of course, to be working with you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is going to be fun today.
Absolutely, it is. Thank you for saying that. And we could we could easily spend 30 minutes, no problem, discussing your. I don't even know the right word to use to describe your career. I mean, just absolutely sensational. What a life you have lived already.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate that.
just amazing. I mean, just absolutely incredible. I mean, being inducted into the Aviation Hall of Fame of New Jersey in 2019, and then everything leading up to that. What has it been like?
Wow, how would you describe what it's been like? I think any path to success is a path with a lot of people supporting you along the way. Um, and that aspect has been, amazing. I got some of the best people in the world around me, and they're just stellar. Without them, the path would have been much more arduous. Um, I think that path also has a lot of rocks in the road, and you can either go around the rocks, build a road around the rocks, or you can remove the rocks. And I think that's a challenge that we face when we don't know the answer. When we come up to that big boulder, we got to do something about it. Um, and that's one of the hard parts is figuring out, did I do the right thing? Hindsight's easy, right?
Yes, it is.
But getting to where you want to be, even if you don't know what that is yet, uh, there's those opportunities to figure out a way to deal with the rock.
Right, absolutely. The way that you touched upon that, it reminds me of something that client and friend Rob, who owns Tropic Ocean Airways, these seaplanes down in the Caribbean. And have you heard of? He learned. It's called the OODA loop theory. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not.
It's
You're one of those.
interesting, and he learned it. It's one of the Roman emperors, but basically, you go to the end of what you're trying. So you go to the end result of what you're trying to achieve, and
Yep.
mentally in every possible way that you can, and then you work your way backwards. And I guess in doing this, it's something that he's tested. But anyways, it you made me think of that because you come to those boulders, and it's such an interesting moment when and it's a good way to put it, a boulder versus say an obstacle, but a boulder. And
Right.
is it easy? What is the best strategy? Is it just blow the boulder to pieces? Is it simply try to cruise around it, etc.? And so since you did mention that, what have some of those boulders been that then led to some of the most transformative, amazing moments in your life, in your career?
Yeah, so you don't know what you don't know, obviously. And I did learn early on, don't reinvent the wheel. You
Mm-hmm.
can't make the wheel rounder, and unless you're making a cosmic wheel that is based on some unattainable metal and no one has ever seen it in the world, it's still just a round wheel. And I had taken some advice from people early in my endeavors, not knowing what the hell I was doing, thought I knew everything. And I listened to it and I learned, holy smokes, listen to those that have done it successfully before you, not just those offering advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kept that in my pocket for a long time. And it kind of it's an adjacent um, impact on me is the fact, don't make the wheel rounder, but just do it your way, do it a better way, do it the right way, honor those around you the best you can. So you're still going to make mistakes and you're still going to have people throw stones at you. It's just the way it is.
Right.
But don't, persevere and listen to those that have done it successfully, and also find the good mentors, not those that just want to convince themselves they're good, but those that are genuinely good, and they're probably too busy for you.
Right.
And that's okay, because they'll get to that point and go, yeah, I got to help dopey 22-year-old, you know. What was his name again? Pete? Yeah. um, you know, and listen to those people that genuinely have done it ahead of you, because if they're legit and genuine and have proven track records, it'll change your future big time.
Very well said. Very well said, my friend. And then now, being who you are, the person that you've created, that, and then you continue to create every day, you must be looked to consistently as being one of those individuals that you just described.
Yeah, I think it's a responsibility. You know, I believe in the village theory where um, it's not the government that's raising our next leaders and doers and workers and etc. Whatever labels you want to use. It's the people around them, and it's the village concept. It's nothing crazy and introspective. It's just everybody needs a village of some kind, and you in our role, like your role and my role, we get to the point where we have genuine leadership and we need to develop people that are coming up in the world, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to be aviation or writing a book, or it could be chess. It doesn't matter, as long as it's a worthwhile pursuit, and worthwhile is in the eye of the beholder, meaning it's ethical and moral. Then we should be there to give some of that back to them. And you know, writing the check is okay. Sometimes you just got to write the check and help that institution that is taking care of veterans, for example. Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's awesome. Sometimes you got to go and engage with that veteran or that kid or whatever they pick the topic. It doesn't matter. And it is both. You know, the capital is good and it's important, but the time is everything. And when you can, and not all of them want to listen, you know, we just recently had to make a change with some personnel, and I think he's going to be just fine and great, but you want to at least give him the chance to change and adapt and be there to give them guidance. And I think that's super, super important to do that and have that role.
And again, very well said. Thank you for that. And you, Peter, having flown over 23,000 hours in more than 270 aircraft types. Please correct me if any of this information is slightly outdated now, because you've now gone over 30,000 hours. But 23,000 hours, more than 270 aircraft. And I mean, and then with that experience, I mean, and you've also test flown over 270 aircraft types, excuse me. You've test flown over 685 aircraft. And then you also, with High Performance Aircraft Group, you flight test for a number of manufacturers, including the U.S. and foreign militaries. And so it must, what have been, with all of that experience, and I know that's just scratching the surface of everything that you've done to get to a point where you can actually, you know, engage in 23,000 plus hours in more than 270 aircraft types. Would have been some moments, and then we'll segue, of course, perfectly into the incredible Park City Aviators, but would have been some of the personal moments for you that altered the course of your amazing career and life?
I would come back to an earlier related answer. You know, the people.
The people. Okay.
You know, there was a moment where a certain military organization, they needed to have a higher level of credentials, and instead of rejecting the program, there was leadership that made decisions to send me off to some training so that I met the prerequisites for the plane I was test flying. Even though I had already test flown it, they were offering to increase the knowledge that I had and my prerequisite knowledge and et cetera. And that group of people that made that investment, that was a huge opener into other aircraft. Mm-hmm. And it's all about your pedigree and what you've flown and who you've worked for. And that was a big assistant in the process. That happened pretty early on, that I'm super thankful for. And then there was, you know, first time I crossed the North Atlantic as a captain on a $50 million jet, a long time ago, galaxy far away. That was another moment where someone trusted me to take some very high-end people across the Atlantic and do it for the first time. And of course, it went well. Luckily, I didn't divert to the Azores and go, oh darn, I didn't look at that wind right.
Wow, what an experience!
Yeah, it was cool.
That was cool. That's one way to put it. That's incredible. That's
But
incredible.
you know what, though? It's also the mistakes and some people making and giving you the tolerance to fix your mistake and slap you around a little bit and say, all right, now it's time to move forward. Some mistakes you can't come back from. If you do some really bad things in life because you made awful decisions, you're not coming back from. But there's a lot of mistakes we all make on a regular basis, right, at various degrees. And if those get people ahead of you, you're in a leadership or mentoring position or whatever or just a superior position, if they tolerate the mistake, convert it into a growth opportunity, that's huge. And there are some embarrassing mistakes I've made over the years, and nothing you feel good about, but those moments were big. And I never forget that people make mistakes. We're not here leading a team by demanding excellence. It's an eternal journey, the pursuit of excellence, but we're never going to get there, right?
Right.
And I think that's a valuable snippet, I suppose.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you, 100%. And so I was just, of course, rereading I can't count how many times, your current feature in Elevated Jet Setter, which I love, in regards to Park City Aviators, of course, which you founded in 2008, based in amazing Park City, Utah, one of my favorite ski towns on the planet. What a place!
Awesome town.
Such a great town. There's so many ski towns, of course, right? And I know it's more than a ski town, as
Sure.
many of them are. But at its core, it is one of the most fantastic, vibrant ski towns in North America, if not, again, on the planet. In my opinion, it's right there with Aspen, Telluride, etc. So that's phenomenal that Park City Aviators in 2008 was founded by you. And again, circling back to your feature and then how it correlates right now with this absolutely amazing industry that you're in, this amazing economy, and I preface that with respect to the economy of, if you want to use the word luxury or the affluent and whatnot, and how it pertains to private aviation, luxury real estate, yachts, you name it. One of the many silver linings or I shouldn't say many, one of the significant silver linings, in my opinion, from the pandemic and the affluent, or being given the opportunity, the forced opportunity to take a step back and realize, I have this wealth, I have this affluence, and I also only have this one life. And it took a pandemic for many people to really realize that, and then to take stock in the fact that there's no reason that I shouldn't have a yacht now, or that ski home that is my fourth, fifth, whatever it is, home in Park City that I want to have. And further then, now is the time, not waiting, but now is when I want to have private jet ownership. And then one of the things I love about that really well done feature that we're currently running, and Nash is fantastic, by the way.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, just fantastic, is really how the focus on which so many, when they are right now, have in the past, but more so than ever, correct me if I'm wrong, but considering private ownership versus fractional jet ownership, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And, Judd, just to insert at that juncture, here's the thing. Fractional ownership has been really important to our industry. 10, 15, 20 years ago, it brought private aviation, to people that would never have considered it previously. And that's good for the industry, because the industry is a huge employer, huge technology. I mean, the technology gets down to automobiles. I mean, look at the seatbelt. A long time ago, before your time and my time, seatbelt came from aviation, and so many other great things, right? Mm-hmm. And so when the industry is doing better, this very high tech but small in numbers industry is doing well, the technology improves and that technology gets to other places in the world, medicine, automobiles, all kinds of things that we don't have enough time or bandwidth to get into. And that's value to everybody.
Right.
And I know that the naysayers be like, oh, well, that's easy to say when you're selling a 10, 20, 30, $50 million jet to somebody. And I said, well, but here's the deal with that. When you look at 98.9% of the affluent, they've worked their butts off to get to where they are.
Right.
And as you're a business owner, you're creating and have created something. There's going to be times and have been times where you're lean, mean, making it happen, trying to do the best you can. You're going to stumble and fall. And they've all been through that. And it takes a toll on them. You can see the aging that occurs with high-end business owners,
right,
and business makers. And, there's not one of them out there, I guarantee you, that doesn't think about every single employee all the time and the impact they have on the profit versus keeping employees intact versus growth and all of those challenges. And pre-pandemic, 10 to 14% of those that could and can afford private aviation actually did it. And I think that's a shame, because I think it would really help the world significantly to get the number even higher.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at what the fractionals did, they did a great job of that, to get more people involved with private aviation. But the times have changed. And what most people do not understand as a non-aviation person, they're not in the industry, they just listen to what they've been sold.
Right.
And
absolutely.
And that's natural, and why shouldn't they? But the fact is, owning a plane that's suitable to your mission is not as expensive as people think. And again, we're talking at high level numbers. Doesn't matter. It's still far cheaper than what most people realize. And what happens, and I'd love to watch this change occur, when you can see the delta from beginning to end with someone that's never had their own jet. They all say the same thing. My God, this has impacted my family in so many positive ways. And it's not because they can fly to Aspen and ski for a day. That's not it.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting some time back so they can spend more time with their family, more time in their pursuits, more time with their community, because they're getting time back. And there's no way, if and or but about it. Your own private jet does that far better than any other possible scenario. And it gives them time. And then the trickle-down effect from that, like I mentioned earlier, is huge. And as more of those people become an aircraft owner, the world benefits. And it's not just the time, it's not just the security, it's a sanctuary. Being on that jet is a sanctuary for them, and it allows them to do things better,
Mm-hmm.
allows them to impact the world better. Because, if they have to move a manufacturing company to country X, and then they finally get in that sanctuary where they're untouched and they can really think about it, and they're like, wait a minute, whoa, is this the best thing to do? And it gives them pause. And that metamorphosis that occurs when they've never owned that jet is super rewarding, to see them go, oh my God, why didn't I do this 5-10 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And it's on, I'm hitting some highlights, but there's like 18 different things that they're going to go, wow, this has changed how I'm impacting the world, period. And it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. And again, the price is not what people think it is. They're like, this can't be possible. It's going to cost this much per month and not this. And I'm like, yeah. And in many ways, it will be less expensive than just owning a fraction of a jet that's not wholly owned by yourself.
Again, so very well said. You're incredibly well spoken. And then further, along with and the way that you, along with all that you just touched upon, then also into some black and white, very succinct facts, such as the depreciation and
Mm-hmm.
right, the depreciation the accelerated depreciation of investing in fractional versus in your own private jet, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So the administration is going to renew that, and it's again, the trickle down effect. It's we don't have enough time to go through all of that, but it's huge because when a corporate entity can bonus depreciate their aircraft, that is an impact. And it's nothing for free. It's taking money from taxes and put it into capital, meaning capital is the aircraft, which keeps thousands of people employed, employs others, and the significance of that. The rest of that impact, however, is that the company is going to generate a higher level of success that's going to be realized in their employee population. And because I've seen it so many times with the business that owns a jet, that CEO and other high-level operators, they're doing so much more work, so much better and effectively than by airlining around. And that impact is huge. And the bonus depreciation can be the difference with company A buying a jet versus not buying a jet. And the financial side, we have tax attorneys that we work closely with. They know better than anyone. But if you're able to pay for a jet instead of paying tax, that benefits thousands of people. Can't say enough good things for it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the term you just used, airlining around. And I mean, no, that's such a great way to put it. Any of us, for anyone, even if you're taking a trip to somewhere fantastic, a great trip that you've been planning for quite some time, you're going to your favorite destination, whether it's your week-long or month-long trip in Park City, you're flying first class, or you're flying to Ibiza, wherever it might be. The airlining, the having to go through that process, to me, it almost makes it not worthwhile.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather not take the trip.
Yeah, it's often a huge detractor. I just came back from Barcelona via airline. It was 26 hours of airlining.
26 hours.
Yeah, I won't bore you with the details, but I had to do 3 flights.
I don't want to make you relive it. So even if you were offering, I wouldn't. I know that you're one of the busiest people on the planet, so I have 5 precious minutes left. And then with Park City Aviators, oh, and by the way, I don't know if you've had a moment to look at it, but the 2-page spread ad that Nash came up with and then Jamie was able to bring to life is one of the best 2-page print ads that I have seen, and I'm looking at it right now. But so then the Park City Aviators experience, because obviously with private jet ownership and then a keyword management, and circling back to something you said during this conversation, of course, was it's easy for anyone to, whether it's researching real estate or yachts or private jet ownership, but then management. So then there is Park City Aviators, and Park City Aviators, which was founded by, again, I don't think I am, this word even does it justice, but by you, Peter, and a legend in the industry, and someone that knows about it more than most, I would say in the industry, but then further cares. And that's something that Park City Aviators holds very true and near and dear to heart, is that you actually care significantly and immensely about your clients.
Yeah, I think the big deal is we align with customers that have a very high level ideology, and it's easy, in my opinion, when you're mutually aligned, to really care for these folks. I mean, I've watched, and it permeates through our staff. Our level of care is huge. We're not just protecting their asset like it's ours, in the sense of holding value when it's time to sell it, doing everything we possibly can to keep the value of that aircraft pristine. And we've had a great track record doing that. But it's also about the small things. People have bad days. People can get upset about external factors, and et cetera. And you don't know what that is. You know, it could be family dog finally passed away, or a much higher level, family member, and or anything in between. And so when you can recognize that and offer a little peace and comfort and security and do it the best way possible, I think there's just a level of calm in doing the job, as opposed to running around. Don't get me wrong, we have our run around moments, but there's never chaos, and it's just about moving in the direction that is unified among everyone, and everyone sees it the same way. Let's get the plane cleaned as best as possible. Let's have everything on board. Let's think ahead. Get the silly things that everyone does. Get the car and hotel. That's easy, but getting the hotel set up in a way that's conducive to their birthday, that's not so easy.
Right.
And yeah, it's a big deal for us to. There's a reason, and it's not necessary, but there's a reason we become friendly with our customers, and there's levels of that, and it's whatever they're comfortable with, but it always happens because they see that we genuinely care about them.
Very well said. And also with the management, you're involved with these exceptional people, and you said it so very well with respect to most of these individuals. They have achieved what they've achieved. They're in the position to be able to be working with you and Park City Aviators because they have worked incredibly hard throughout their lives. And so then to be engaged with these individuals and understanding empathetically, being a very empathetic company, and then understanding that, and I think we often forget in general, or people in general often forget, that just because someone has money and they own a jet or they own a yacht, that they don't also have days, so to speak, as you were touching upon. And so understanding that and preparing for them in their private jet on their excursions, whether it's for business, whether it is a trip that's for pleasure, such as surprising their loved one with a trip to the other side of the planet for something significant that's planned, but actually preparing and being involved in that must be so also rewarding for you personally, and also for Park City Aviators as the elite aircraft management company that it is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I keep these notebooks. I've had them for years. I think I'm up to like my 38th notebook.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah, and it's helped in writing some of my books as well. But I keep these notebooks, and in the notebooks I have trip details. It of course has the flying stuff and weather and things like that. It's not a logbook. It's different. Then I also put in the hotel experience, customer experience, and restaurants. And so I've developed this database on my phone, and I can just put in restaurant into my contact list, and I get restaurants around the world, and I can further refine it, say with Firenze, Italy, Florence. And what's really enjoyable is sharing that. And we had this super cool experience on 2 trips ago. I was taking a customer to Africa, and through the grapevine, he ended up offering another customer a ride and dropping that customer off in Italy, because that customer that we dropped off in Italy on our way to Africa is planning their 50th wedding anniversary. That's a huge accomplishment, first of all.
Absolutely.
On a myriad of, it was just awesome.
Yes.
And so all of that came together just from that, that village concept of supporting each other. And it came about very organically, and not in a newsletter or blog or some other thing. It was just organic. And so we get to Italy, and the customer that's there getting dropped off as a favor and a courtesy, he says, where should we eat? I don't know anything. And I'm like, I'll text you 3 restaurants. So I sent him 3 restaurants. And when I saw him again on the return, he was like, that restaurant was great food, but it was also an experience. And you hear stuff like that. It's small, it's insignificant, but you know what? It was an impactful moment for them. and it was fun. I mean, it's just downright fun.
Downright fun. And then also, at the same time, not really that insignificant. Quite possibly could have been, excuse me, one of the most significant, impactful moments in his life because, as you said, 50th wedding anniversary. I mean, that in itself is quite an achievement, as I believe you put
exactly.
it.
and they're awesome people. I mean, they're just super.
That's great. What you said, over 30 journals?
Yeah, it's like I know I'm getting close to 40 because I ran out of space in the case I keep them in.
Good for you. That's great.
And it's fun. It's just notes. It's whatever. I don't know.
It's just notes. I don't know. It just gave me a thought. I mean, for you to maybe lock yourself away for a week or whatever it might take and pour through all of those journals and then write your memoir would probably be something that so many people would love to read. And I think of it that way. That's what Matthew McConaughey just did with such as you, both geniuses in your own right. He had written journals throughout, since he started his amazing career. And then he finally took these 30, 40 plus journals and locked himself in a camper somewhere. And he just poured through them and reflecting on them and then then they became this memoir. But I'm sure what you've experienced in your absolutely incredible career, the achievements that you have personally created and sought out, and then thus culminating with Park City Aviators and all else that you've done, I'm sure that it would be absolutely sensational. I know that I would read it.
Well, I think I have to hire you as my publicist because I'm about 3/4 of the way done with that book. My flying adventures and life adventures, and so what I did with the help of Alfonso, who's been my editor on all 4 books, 2 of them released, 2 of them coming out. And I said, I need to get these transcribed so I can do word searches. I have a really good memory, but, I don't remember the first time I was in Iceland. Was that in 2003 or was it 2004, right?
Right.
And so we've gotten them transcribed into, a digital copy. They're not done yet, but so I can just go in and hit a keyword, zap to that story, find that that memory, because once I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah. And then we went to Grill Market for dinner, which is a great restaurant in Iceland, by the way. But, and I can learn about that on it. I met the chef and owner, and they're delightful people. And so anyway, I appreciate the props because I'm doing it as we speak.
That is great. And so, if you don't mind me asking, what is your goal with respect to having it completed, or are you kind of just rolling with it?
Well, I got the first 2 books that are released took about 12 months roughly, and that was a steady pace, and it got done. Books 3 and 4 I'm kind of writing together, and because they're different. The series is a military spy thriller about a CIA developed asset, and each sequel with a lot of true life events. But anyway, the memoir, I'm going to use that term. I don't know why I haven't used that prior, but anyway, the flying adventures in the memoir, I wanted it to have out now. And you got to set up goals, even if you miss them. Jack Welch used to call it stretching. And it's okay to miss the stretch, and
Yep.
So I think it'll be out by the championship races in September, sometime early fall.
Fantastic. I cannot wait to read it. I cannot wait.
Well, when we get offline, make sure you send us your mailing address. I'll send you a copy of the first book so you can check it out.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to read it. And absolutely, memoir is the perfect word to use for it. And since I mentioned it, if I'm gonna take a wild guess that you're an avid reader yourself whenever you have the time, Matthew McConaughey's it's a great read, very inspiring, and might be right.
Really good book. I read his book.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. I love the green light philosophy. Green lights.
Yeah, and I think he's got a really smart's not fair enough. I think he has a very philosophical outlook that's healthy on life. I really do.
100% agree with you. The way that you just said it was spot on. He is, and you can't, it's not a word such as genius or et cetera. He just really has a grasp and understanding of life from many different vantage points that if the entire planet had in some capacity, the world would be a much different place. Because it's just this, in my opinion, it's a very intrinsic, altruistic understanding of people, of the planet, of life.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Looking for green lights. Looking for green
Yeah.
lights. All right, my friend. Pete Zaccagnino, CEO, founder, and in my opinion, legend, Park City Aviators, PC Aviators with an S.com. Pete, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure. I hope we get to do it again soon. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have before I let you go, or anything we didn't discuss that you'd like to touch upon?
Yes, two things.
Perfect.
One, and you can answer this offline. It's all good. Tell me how we can help you and achieve your goals. And then two, if anyone finds themselves in Reno in September, we're going after our 6th championship at the air races, and be great to have you there. Come and stop in. I'll show you the planes I race and meet my team. They're awesome. Again, the team concept. So yeah, just wanted to ask those two things, or share those two things.
Perfect. Thanks for throwing that out. So that's in September, and that's when that's your objective, to have the memoir completed.
Correct. It's a good goal, because I'd be too busy.
I love it. Perfect. All right, Pete. Thank you so much, my friend. Again, I can't thank you enough. It's been such a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds awesome, Jeff. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye.